the following presentation of the National Football League.
54 degrees. It is blowing around down there a little bit wind-wise, and there is a chance of rain. That's kind of how it's been here in Carolina. They played a downpour on Monday night. Weather is considerably better, and with the middle of the field resodded, away we go. Green Bay won the toss. They deferred. Carolina starts with it. Joe Webb on the return. He does a little bit of everything. Third string quarterback, active special teamer. And he's out near the 30. 25-yard return by Webb. Casey Hayward on the stop, and here comes Cam Newton. The numbers aren't great, except for 2, 7-0. But the completion percentage is down. There's his overall record in his 5th season in the NFL.
Yeah, well, it said a lot about Cam Newton. You can't judge how well he's performing just based on his numbers, clearly. He's not going to put up the passing numbers that a guy like Aaron Rodgers will. He does so much more for this offense. The big key for him has been the plays that he's been able to make late in games to get them to this 7-0 record.
Delayed handoff, Stewart. This is the top running team in the NFL. Not only with the numbers they put up per game with regard to total rushing yards, but the number of times that they hand it off. Who do you want to pick out of this group? Olsen, the tight end?
Yeah, I don't know how you can overlook him and the job that he has done. You know, not just this year either. I mean, he's been terrific this season, but from the day he arrived here in Carolina 5 years ago, he has been Cam Newton's go-to guy.
2nd down and 6. 4 men on the rush for Green Bay, and Newton out. Cam Newton is going to slide, and he slid short of a first down. He gets up signaling first down, but where the slide happened, he's short. And that was not a very heady play by Cam Newton.
Well, and talking with Dom Capers, of course, this is the goal each week against Carolina. Keep Cam Newton in the pocket. You rush too far up the field, as Julius Peppers does, and Greg Olsen was going down the middle, had a shot at him, but he decided to run with the football instead. It was interesting, Joe, in visiting with Cam Newton, he said the reason he likes to slide head first is so that he won't lose yardage as he just did because of the slide.
Newton picks it up anyway, and he's with that big body. 6'4", 245. He's taking bows after a 5-yard run. Nate Palmer on the stop. And for Cam Newton, more rushing first downs than any quarterback in the NFL. And here's the defense. And you look at out on the edge as Green Bay is without Quentin Rollins and Sam Shields. Both injured. Play action. What a catch! Olsen with a one-handed grab. And this good start for Carolina will continue as Olsen is inside the 35. Good for 23.
How about that grab? That'll rival Odell Beckham Jr. They put Olsen in the flat, just a busted coverage by the Green Bay Packers. They've got a slant in behind it. Nobody picks up Olsen. An outstanding job bringing that ball in.
Catch number 499 in his career. On first down, Newton's going to take care of the middle of the field and get knocked down near the 10. Middle of the field, absolutely wide open, good for 23 yards is Cam Newton.
Well, when you go man coverage against Cam Newton, you better have somebody that's maintaining the quarterback, and as you can see, nobody is accounting for him. And in man coverage, the defensive backs have their backs to the balls. Eyes are not on the quarterback. Couple runs now by Cam Newton. This is a big one.
Smiling all the way. Why not? Season-long carry at 23 yards. Newton over the middle. Pass caught. And Kachary is inside the 5. Stretches near the 2. Good for 7+. Quentin Dix on the tackle, and If you're Mike McCarthy, we saw that shot of him. He's thinking, here we go again. It's been 2 brutal weeks for this Green Bay defense.
They've given up 500 yards in each of the last 2 weeks, most of that through the air by Phillip Rivers, and of course last week by Peyton Manning. But here on this first possession, Cam Newton's putting on a clinic, and there has been no pass rush.
Tolbert wrapped up immediately. Good play, and that was Peppers in there. The longtime Carolina Panther, former number 2 overall pick back in 2002. And he brought down Tolbert immediately. And now the ball's on the 2.
Yeah, you know this means something to Julius Peppers. Spent his first 8 years of his career here in Carolina. What a force he was, and still is at 35 years old.
Newton throws it away. Corey Brown was at least close enough to it to avoid a grounding. It went over his head out of the back of the end zone. And Newton just got rid of it, so the drive stalls inside the 5, and what looked to be an overwhelming start to this first possession ends up with a 20-yard field goal try by Gano.
Well, that's been the strength of this defense. Not so good last week against Denver, but prior to that, really good in the red zone. So a lot of yards given up. That's been the thing that's been their deal all year. Stop them in the red zone.
That's what Dom Capers prides himself and his defense on, scoring defense. They were a bit out of breath, but at least they stood up inside the 5, and Newton and company come up with 3. Cam Newton had 63 yards on that first possession, 30 through the air, 33 on the ground. It's the first time since week 1 the Packers have allowed opening drive points. Carolina's now scored on 5 of 8 opening drives, leading 3-0. Gano, one of the best at driving it out of the back of the end zone. Not this time. Hyde will take it out. Has some room and gets brought down as he crossed the 20 by Ben Jacobs. So now we get the pleasure of watching Aaron Rodgers go to work. 3-0. Panthers on top. Aerial coverage provided by Nationwide, as the Packers will start with the ball at their own 25. This offense can't wait to get back out there after a rough one in Denver on Sunday night. Play action. It's the tight end Rodgers, and he's brought down immediately by Roman Harper. A gain of 2, and Aaron Rodgers, the numbers are fantastic. In the last 15 games following a loss, 15-0, and look at the touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's a guy who knows how to bounce back.
Oh, he sure does, and the thing that he's done a really nice job of all season long this year and throughout his career is being smart with the football. Last week, obviously, a very disappointing loss. Not much production offensively. That game could have really turned ugly had he started forcing a lot of balls early into coverage.
Here's Lacy right side, and he has yet to kick it into gear. He gets nothing, lost half a yard, and Shaq Thompson, the rookie, and first-round draft pick out of Washington, back after missing the last 2 games with a sprained knee, in there to make the stop. And the Packers are looking for more out of their tight end, Richard Rodgers, you see there, number 82, and Randall Cobb, who's been slowed down the last 4 games. 3rd and 9.
Ready, go! Whiskey! 10. Ready!
Rodgers in trouble, and down he goes. Lotulelei, the one who can finally bring him down, and Aaron Rodgers did all he could, had nowhere to go.
Looked a lot like Sunday night, didn't it? Man coverage across the board, pressure in the pocket. Aaron Rodgers buying some time and just really unable to find somebody that could create enough separation for him to turn the ball loose. A 3 and out as the Packers went backward on their first possession. Mastay just got it away and hits a good one. Ginn backing up near the 25. Flag is thrown. Looks like it's against Carolina as Ginn runs into Mastay, who's in on the stop with Nate Palmer, and Mastay is a little gimpy coming out of that tackle. But a flag thrown back at the spot where Ted Ginn caught it. Right now a 33-yard return. We'll get the call from Gene Steratore after a 57-yard punt, which is a season long for Mastay.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 43. 10-yard penalty. First down Carolina. Timeout.
It's against Fozzie Whitaker right there. That erases the 33-yard return. 3-0 Carolina as they get it right back. Second possession for Carolina, who put up 68 yards of offense. First time they had it, Green Bay went backward. This one starts at the 20. Newton in trouble. Able to stiff arm his way out of it as he was under pressure by Mike Daniels, who's playing great. Let's go to Mike Hill for a game break. All right, thanks. Well, New Orleans is at 500 now at 4-4. Yeah, they won 4 of their last 5. They're playing some pretty good football here as of late. So many Packer fans here making noise. Here's Stewart with Daniels in on the stop. He wasn't alone. Peppers there as well. A gain of 4, third down coming up. And this Green Bay defense trying to make a stop. Yeah, trying to make a stop and a little different look from what they've seen the last couple of weeks. As I said earlier, they face Phillip Rivers and then Peyton Manning, 2 veteran quarterbacks that certainly can exploit a secondary, and a different offense here today with Cam Newton, one that leads the league in rushing. Third down and 6. Newton fires too high for Olsen. Fourth down. Carolina Panthers coming in having won their last 11 regular season games. During that streak, they didn't beat any team that at the time had a record over 500. A chance to make a statement today. Chance for a bounce back for Green Bay, and as it stands right now, a big one potentially when we get to the end of the year and the NFC playoff picture. 7-0 against 6-1. Nortman hits it, a good one. On the move, going back, Hyde. Nice move along the sideline, a good return. And decent starting field position across their own 35 for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers down 3. Game here for Green Bay in first place in the NFC North. The Vikings leading St. Louis 3-0 early in that game. Green Bay and Minnesota, they will meet in 2 weeks.
What is the key?
Cobb in the backfield with Aaron Rodgers. Cobb is missed. 2nd and 10, and we'll look at this defense, which is the 10th ranked defense in the NFL. The guy in the middle of that graphic is the guy in the middle of this defense, and the best in the business, Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, he's everything you want in a middle linebacker. He's fast, he's smart, he's tough, he's physical, and he can cover. He really does it all. He missed 3 games with his first concussion of his career. He's fully healthy and playing some outstanding football once again for this defense.
Tight formation for Green Bay. They roll Rodgers out. Pass is caught by the rookie fullback, and Ripkowski
plows his way into Carolina territory. That's the first catch of the year for Aaron Ripkowski, and he ran right through Josh Norman right here.
Well, I like this Aaron Ripkowski. He's one of the few guys in this league that actually played fullback in college. He was a blocking back there at the University of Oklahoma. They pick him up here in Green Bay in the 6th round. He's had a great guy to watch in John Cohn. These fullbacks, neither one played last week much, you know, and they went with Richard Rodgers as their blocking fullback. I know Mike McCarthy said we've got to get more out of our fullbacks in this game because they do a good job when they play.
They're going to throw the flag for delay of game, as you can see.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Aaron Rodgers was pleading with Lindsley, the center, to snap it. Right here.
You see Corey Lindsley, he's getting the protections and he's making calls of his own to the rest of the offensive linemen as Aaron Rodgers trying to get the ball snapped. Mike McCarthy clearly not happy. Getting a pre-snap penalty, it sets him back 1st and 15.
Now a quick snap. Pass is incomplete. Jones was there, but he was well covered as Aaron Rodgers tried to zip it in there. 2nd and 15.
Well, Josh Norman here in the early going through 2 possessions. He's been primarily following James Jones. You'd think Randall Cobb, but Randall Cobb lines up in the slot position a fair amount of time, and they don't travel him to the inside receiver. So we've seen him now in the early going go with James Jones, one of the really great young players in our league right now.
And about to cash in, free agent to be Norman up at the top.
Well, now he's across from Davante Adams, number 17.
On 2nd down, Rodgers in trouble again, spinning around. And is forced out of bounds by Davis. 3rd down and long coming up as Rodgers picks up 3.
Well, Carolina changes it up a little bit. They like their ability to match up man-to-man coverage. As I showed Josh Norman, he goes over to the left side. He's lined up across from Davante Adams, but they play zone coverage. Aaron just not able to find anybody, and with that delay of game penalty, they're looking at 3rd and long.
3rd down and 12. Rodgers throws, pass is caught. That's Adams, and that's a big 1st down for Green Bay. Nice catch by Davante Adams, who missed 3 games with an ankle injury, 13-yard pickup.
This is a great catch, but just an outstanding throw by Aaron Rodgers. As you take a look, ball is loose, and then he brings it in, but he had to throw this one from the wide side of the field and really lay it out perfectly. Charles Tillman, who's had a bit of a rebirth here in Carolina, had good coverage on it.
Hey, over! Outside line, over! 319!
Starks gets it on a toss. Has to cut back, good run. There was nothing out to the left, and James Starks cut back, brought down by Davis after a gain of 4.
Well, you wonder just how much of James Starks are we going to see in this game. I know that Eddie Lacy has really struggled. Is he healthy? Is he overweight? Is he out of shape? Mike McCarthy says he's well-conditioned. That's not the issue at all, but the facts are he has not been productive, and they expect more than they've gotten. And Mike McCarthy said if he doesn't perform, we're going to go with James Starks. His first carry lost 1 yard. Nice gain by Starks.
And here he is, cutting back again. And he'll keep getting it with runs like that. Keatley on the tackle, a gain of 9. And a 1st down for the running back who's starting to take over the Packers' ground attack.
Well, when he gets his opportunities, he makes the most of them. This is an excellent job on his part of recognizing the cutback, taking it, getting as much out of the play, and I can tell you that helps out your quarterback.
Ready, go!
Rodgers, pass caught, Adams was a guy you asked Mike McCarthy about. He said, well, it's time for him to get it back going again. He's had plenty of time to heal. from the ankle injury, and he made the big third down catch a moment ago. Now this one is good for 4 and inside the red zone of the Packers.
And the Packers, they're starting to get some rhythm going right now. They're going to the huddle, no huddle offense, starting to pick it up a little bit. That's what you would expect when you start to get some rhythm. You start getting some positive plays.
Here's Starks. James Starks still going. Forced out of bounds inside the 5 by Kuechly. And Starks brings some life at that running back position, good for 15.
Well, this is a defense that we know is an outstanding group. They've got playmakers at each level of their defense, but where offenses have had success against them is running the football. James Starks, now with his opportunities, he's done some nice things.
Carolina's allowed an average of over 140 rush yards a game over the last 4. 10th play of this drive. Here's Lacy. Reaching for it, and they're going to say he's brought down. Definitely down short of the end zone and short of that fumble as the ball popped out.
1.5 yard line, 2nd down and goal, Green Bay.
Gene Steratore gives it to you after a carry of 3 yards by Lacy.
Yeah, that was a tough run there by Eddie Lacy. Down there, you expect that around the goal line. They do put Richard Rodgers at the fullback position to lead block, and does a nice job on that play.
Packers have only 4 rushing touchdowns all year.
No, we're going right.
Here's Norman on James Jones.
Where did he go?
Rodgers slings it, caught, touchdown. Great play by Aaron Rodgers as Richard Rodgers is on the receiving end and the Packers jump on top.
Well, Aaron Rodgers has to stick this right on him, and he does, and he's got his feet down, so that's a heck of a job. Aaron Rodgers changes the play, and you're going to see Luke Kuechly in the middle, 59. He counters it with one of his own, but Rodgers, he flushes out of the pocket, design rollout, and just sticks it on Rodgers for the touchdown.
That's one of the best 1-yard touchdown throws you'll ever see.
There's a lot of bodies in there. You got to be careful as a quarterback when you're trying to fit balls in those spaces, but an outstanding job of seeing what he had and making a good throw.
3rd touchdown for Richard Rodgers. And the Packers lead by 4. Aaron Rodgers, touchdown throw number 16 on the year. His legs kept the play alive, and then that arm able to fit it in. Packers on top. The Green Bay Packers are facing undefeated teams on the road in back-to-back games, but as they go forward, they have the 4th easiest schedule based on record the rest of the way. And as Aaron Rodgers told us yesterday, we need to find our identity. Ball control, okay. Or do we want to be aggressive? He votes for aggressive. And that was a good drive put together by the Packers to take the lead. For Green Bay, they lead the NFL in first quarter scoring. They lead by 4. There's a new tradition in college basketball you're not going to want to miss. The Gavitt tip-off games pits the Big East against the Big Ten for 4 days. Great action beginning November 17th. With Nebraska-Villanova, only on FS1.
Joe, I know in getting ready for this game, for a team that's 6-1 and was 6-0, went into that game on Sunday night against Denver, it sure didn't feel that way when you hear what all was being said about this team, and even in talking with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers.
Expectations so high for the quarterback and for this team. Here's Stewart left side, picks up 8.
Well, I think for an offense, in Green Bay, yeah, you lose Jordy Nelson, that's going to have an impact, a 1,500-yard receiver from a year ago. But as you pointed out earlier, they've just been banged up. Devontae Adams, really had not been healthy since week 1. I do think he's much healthier than he's been since then here today, but they are without Ty Montgomery, so still have not been at full strength at that position.
Second down and 2. Handoff is to Tolbert. He's got a first down. And that should be it for the first quarter. Meanwhile, Carolina, they lost their top receiver in Kelvin Benjamin in August. Tore his ACL. The rookie last year, 73 catches, over 1,000 yards, 9 receiving touchdowns. And yet, even with losing him, the Panthers are undefeated, 7-0, and after one, trail by 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. First down Panthers as we start the second quarter here in Charlotte.
Hey, Disco, even power! Disco, even power!
Little end around and tripped up in the backfield is Corey Brown. Play is made by Nick Perry. And that was a big one, a loss of 12.
Well, Nick Perry plays this beautifully. He comes up the field and he sees the reverse action by Corey Brown, and he stays home, and then he makes a play there in the open field. That's an outstanding job by Nick Perry.
Ed Dixon missed on the block. Didn't slow him down at all. And after that big play, it's second down with the ball back at the 20.
Well, they like to use Corey Brown a lot in those types of situations, and Nick Perry read his tip sheet coming into this one.
Second and 22, Dixon. Good play by the safety Morgan Burnett. And with 3rd and 16 coming up, let's go to Mike Hill with a game break. One of only 4. Only one in the NFC, Carolina. 3rd and 16, listen to the Packer fans making the noise. Newton is going to throw, and wide open Cotchery. Absolutely left alone. And brought down at the 15. 59 yards to Jericho Cotchery.
We've seen the Packers in a lot of man-to-man coverage, but 3rd and long, they elect to go zone, keep their eyes on Cam Newton in the pocket. Ha-ha Clinton Diggs, he's playing really deep. And as a result, Jericho Cotchery, he's able to just knife right through the middle of that defense, and Cam Newton finds him for a huge play on 3rd and long.
And the longest play from scrimmage all season for Carolina, 59 yards on 3rd and 16.
Absolutely demoralizing for a defense to get an offense into that situation and give up that type of play.
Stewart gets it running right. Takes Clinton Dix for a ride to the 1.
Well, Trey Turner, their right guard, he pulls out. He runs well for a big man, and he makes a big block there on the outside, which springs a lane for Jonathan Stewart. Hey, Green Bay has their work cut out for him right here if they're going to keep Carolina out of the end zone for the second time today.
First down and goal. Newton's going to take it and score the touchdown over the top. Fifth of the year for Cam Newton, and his 38th rushing touchdown since 2011.
That's pretty unbelievable. You see him get elevated and stretch the ball out, and we've seen him now on 3rd and 1, and now right down here on the goal on first down. If they only need a foot to a yard, there's a good bet that Cam Newton's going to get the ball and he's going to make it.
Jericho Cotchery, the 59-yarder on 3rd and 16, got him into position. The former Jet and Steeler set him up, and the lead is 3. Newton found him. Cotchery with a big play on 3rd down, and Peppers playing keep away after the touchdown. A gray day in Charlotte, but a good drive. The key play to him, Jericho Cotchery. 59-yarder on 3rd down and 16. And you identified it. They play zone worrying about Cam Newton taking off, and Cam Newton just finds Cotchery running scot-free. Here's Hyde from just outside the end zone. Can't make the 20. And now we will welcome you inside our broadcast booth. We're over there where the lights are on and they're really bright. And I'm Joe, that's Troy. And Carolina, the numbers don't blow you away offensively, and maybe because they're such a good running team, they don't get the attention, but this is a dangerous attack they have.
Well, it's dangerous because you have to account for Cam Newton, and obviously we see that each and every week, his ability to run the football, and it's why when it's 3rd and long and you're worried about his ability to scramble and you play zone coverage, you give up a big 3rd down, which leads to a touchdown. So those are the types of things that a guy like Cam Newton brings and how he impacts what you then do on the defensive side of the ball.
319!
Here's Lacey left side. Full head of steam and got tripped up. A late flag comes flying in. And it's against Green Bay with a hold.
Holding. Offense number 63. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 1st down.
That's the center, Lindsley.
A couple penalties now. We saw a delay of game on their previous possession. And then we catch this one, which backs them up to start this drive.
He had a hold of Kawan Short, Defensive Player of the Month. One of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. There's the start for Rodgers. 1st and 18. Rodgers, Adams, incomplete. 2nd down and 18.
Well, I know Randall Cobb, and we heard Aaron Andrews' report to start this game, how he took it personally based on the performance and the lack of production with that receiving core last week. And he's a fine player. They do a lot of things with him, and he's trying to take on the load, or has been now for much of this season. Hard to do. And we've seen them utilize him, try to put him in the backfield and free him up as best they can. He's primarily been a slot receiver here in this game.
Here's Lacey. Not much. Picked up a yard and a half. Wes Horton on the stop. 3rd down and long coming up.
They go back to a couple years ago, Joe, and the Carolina the Carolina Panthers, they pick up star Lotulelei, and then in the 2nd round they pick up Kawan Short. 2 big guys there at defensive tackle. Kawan Short is really coming into his own, being a real physical presence there in the middle, but they get an inside push, and they're difficult to move in the running game. Hard place to run between the tackles.
3rd down and 17. Rodgers out to his right. Nothing there. Gets shoved out by Luke Kuechly at the end of it. A gain of 6. It's 4th down, and that hold by Lindsley really affected this drive right out of the gate.
Yeah, really difficult to overcome. And once again, the Panthers, they go man-to-man coverage, and just nobody, Joe, able to create any type of separation. You can see the frustration for Aaron Rodgers.
Mastay. Line drive punt. Ginn should have some room. Far side of the field and well covered. Elliott on the stop. We saw Julius Peppers playing keep away after the touchdown for Cam Newton, but he got it back and then gave it away. 10-7, Panthers on top, 2nd quarter. Well, some more frustration for the Green Bay offense as they're trying to figure out answers here today against Carolina. After Aaron Rodgers had that 77-yard passing day at Denver last Sunday night. Newton keeps it and just heaves it down the middle for Funchess, and the rookie's got it. What a catch with Randall all over him. 52 yards from Cam Newton. Well, here's Devin Funchess here. He's going to run the deep post. You see the play action back in the backfield. They go with three guys back there with Cam Newton. He lays it out there. Cam Newton calls the rookie fun, and when you make plays like that, that is fun. That's an outstanding job on first down. Take a shot down the field. You have good field position. Excellent call by Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator. Handoff now is to Stewart. That last one good for 52 yards to the rookie, and that's two completions of over 50 yards. And how with Randall grabbing him, pulling him all over his back, does Funchess make that catch? That's just a perfectly thrown ball. You're right. Demarius Randall, he's an outstanding coverage. I mean, you can't cover a guy any better than that. What great concentration by Funchess, and just a perfect throw with Cam Newton. Newton, end zone, touchdown, Olsen. Catch number 500 in the career of Greg Olsen. It's good for a touchdown. You're going to see this throw by Cam Newton. He throws it off his back foot, sidearm, and delivers an absolutely perfect ball to Greg Olsen. Free release off the line of scrimmage, middle of the field. Clinton Dix playing 5 yards deep in the end zone. That's a gimme for Carolina. Back-to-back touchdown drives for the Panthers. And the 500th is memorable for Olsen. 10-point game. And Green Bay better find some answers fast. Carolina here at home trying to prove the point. They are a team to be reckoned with, leading 17-7. Well, it's been impressive last two possessions. Olsen gets the touchdown. The rookie set it up with the 52-yarder. And with under 9 to go in the first half, the Panthers lead it by 10. As Gano kicks it away. And out of the back of the end zone. Well, this has not been a big play offense throughout the first 7 games of this season, but you're going to see the formation here in the backfield. Running formation. Clinton Dix, the middle safety. They're playing man, but he's got to stay deep as the deepest receiver. He's kind of hanging up there, expecting maybe they're going to get the ball to Greg Olsen. It allows Funchess to get deep. And Cam Newton, he comes back to him a little bit late. He was looking elsewhere initially. He shows off his arm strength to get that kind of throw off his back foot. And hits him right in stride. That's impressive. He doesn't even want any water on the bench. Funchess, who the Panthers traded up to get. Been plagued by some drops in his rookie year. That was a big one. Here's Starks. Nowhere to go. And it's Luke Kuechly who serenaded a 1-yard loss. Well, Luke Kuechly, he talked about it. Those guys up front that I spoke of a little bit earlier, K'Wan Short and then Star Lotulelei, their job primarily is to keep blockers off of him and let him run to the football. He had a clean shot on James Starks. Second down and 11. Aaron's going to air it out. Randall Cobb downfield, overthrown. He got behind the defenders. Norman was back there, and Aaron Rodgers a little too much air under it. Boy, he gets a good release. Randall Cobb does on the outside, and he was open, and Aaron Rodgers just overshoots him. And that's been really the biggest difference to me, Joe, when you look at this offense and what they have been able to do in years past, what they were doing earlier this season, just not getting the big plays down the field in this passing game.
that they once were.
And another 3rd and long for the Packers, 3rd and 11.
Well, that's all they've had so far in this first half is 3rd and longs.
Rodgers out to his right. Fires for Adams, incomplete. And there's just nothing out there for Aaron Rodgers, trying to make the most of whatever opportunity he can find.
I think this one, Rodgers is fighting for his life back there, but he's got Adams. He's got Adams down the sideline. He just makes a poor throw on that one, but he's scrambling. He's trying to keep it alive. And he had a chance. That ball just got inside on him.
The ruling on the field is the receiver stepped out of bounds, never reestablished, and was first to touch, which makes that an incomplete pass and not a foul for illegal touching. 4th down, Green Bay.
So it is 4th down, and there's the step out by Adams.
So the one time we get Randall Cobb on the outside, and he draws Josh Norman. So when he's inside, Norman's going to go with James Jones. Cobb lines up outside. That's who he's going to get.
Good will snap it. Not a good punt by Mastay. It's short. Let's see what kind of a bounce it takes. Takes a Green Bay bounce and a flag is thrown. Tapped down by Janis downfield after a 48-yard punt. And that Green Bay defense is right back on the field here in moments. There's a grab by Trey Boston. A hand is up in the face of Trey Boston.
And the ball bounced off Ladarius Gunner's calf when it was coming down as well.
Well, there's a lot to decipher here for Gene Steratore.
Well, if there's a guy who can decipher it, it's Gene Steratore.
That's the guy. But it's going to be interesting because you can see there are multiple officials with different aspects of that punt that they're trying to explain to Steratore.
During the kick, personal foul, face mask, number 36 of the kicking team. The ball is illegally touched by the kicking team and recovered by receiving team or down. The penalty will be 15 yards from the end of the kick. 1st down, Carolina. Timeout.
So they get that hand up into the face right here of Ladarius Gunter. Into the mask of Trey Boston. 15 more yards for Carolina as they lead it by 10. Best starting field position for the Panthers, who lead it by 10. Carolina's had 4 games in their history with 2 completions of 50 or more yards. 2 of them have come over the last 6 games, 2 in this half. Here's Stewart, spins away, and a good play is made by Casey Hayward. And on 1st down, a loss of 2.
Well, this is a huge defensive possession for this Green Bay Packer team. When you look at what Carolina has done the last 2 possessions, they've come away with touchdowns on each of those. As you said, they've had good field position, and now they've got the best field position. If they can force a punt, not give up any more points, that's exactly what they need to do for an offense that has really struggled here in the first half outside of that one drive that allowed them to come away with the touchdown.
2nd down and 12. Newton throws, pass is caught. Cotchery again. Fights his way for a 1st down. Inside the 40 to the 38. Good for 16. Dragged down by Goodson.
Well, they bring Clay Matthews inside. Panthers do an excellent job picking it up, giving Cam Newton time in the pocket. Look at the job Jonathan Stewart does right there in the middle. Blocking it up, and Cam Newton stands in there tall and delivers a good ball to Jericho Cotchery.
Here's Stewart. Stood up at the 35-yard line. A gain of 3. Nick Perry in there on the tackle. I just noticed on Monday night in the game against Indianapolis, especially in overtime, the calm of Cam Newton. You see all the stuff after touchdowns or first downs. That's always been a part of his day. But he seems in control. He seems confident. He seems like he's taken that next step as he plays here in his 5th year.
Well, you watch him at the line of scrimmage and the calls that he makes, as he is right now, changing the call, seeing what the defense is doing, and putting his team into good plays.
Newton's got a man, but overthrows Greg Olsen. And another touchdown was there for the taking. 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, you just watch the Panthers play, and you're going to get shots in the seam to Greg Olsen. And if you're playing him, you better find a way to defense it. Because right there was another touchdown. Morgan Burnett in coverage, Dixon in the middle of the field, and just a straight line shot to the goal line. We've seen it a lot from Greg Olsen, catching those passes from Cam Newton.
They're down at 7. Newton slips out. Going to try and run for the first down. Good play. And it's Randall who saved the first down. Good work by the rookie, first-round pick out of Arizona State, who played some safety there at Arizona State, and he doesn't mind hitting.
Well, that's right, and that's what Dom Capers likes about him. I'll tell you, he doesn't like hitting Cam Newton, though, but he does it. There's linebackers who don't like taking on Cam Newton, 260 pounds. Cam's not used to being brought down by a guy like that. That's excellent work by the rookie Randall.
49-yard try now by Gano. And Graham Gano drives it through for a 13-point lead. And the Green Bay Packers offense, Mike McCarthy, Tom Clements, who's calling the plays, will try and figure it out. The last 3 games for Green Bay have fallen from 10th to 28th in total yards, 8 sacks allowed, 6 in the first 4 games. The time of possession is down. And as you said, Troy, when you start looking at the big picture, it's good for Green Bay. They're 6-1, their first place club. You start looking at the recent trends, and it's time for Aaron Rodgers and this offense to put a stake in the ground and start going the other way.
Well, it is, and the other part of this too, Joe, is over the last month they've played some good defenses, and that certainly factors into this. St. Louis, excellent defensively last week against Denver, and they have the type of people, as we saw, who can match up and still bring pressure after the quarterback. And then this Carolina defense here, they're good as well. So for an offense that has been struggling a little bit, trying to find their way, who are going to be the playmakers, and then you combine that with some of these defenses they've faced, it's been a struggle. But that's offensive football. You get into a rhythm. It looked like they did there on that second possession when they scored the touchdown, but it's been tough sledding since then. They've had too many penalties, too many third longs.
Another touchback for Gano. And with that, we go to Kurt Menefee with the game break.
Scoring game in the Superdome. Joe, Troy, Eric.
Kurt, thank you. So far, Aaron Rodgers in this game has only 38 passing yards as he and the Packers trail by 13. Just getting rid of it is Aaron Rodgers. They're going to say incomplete pass with Lacey close enough to it. Heavy pressure by Thomas Davis.
Yeah, John Kuhn, he's in protection. He just whiffs. He misses on Thomas Davis. Aaron Rodgers has no opportunity whatsoever. He does an outstanding job just getting the ball out left-handed. As soon as he turns around, he's got a guy right in his face.
Running.
Here's Lacey. Ball is out. Carolina's got it. Fumble, Eddie Lacy. And that was knocked out early.
Tillman was in on that play. Charles Tillman's one of the best in the history of this sport in forcing fumbles. He comes in, he's playing outside at corner, he sees the ball exposed and just knocks it out on Eddie Lacy, and the struggles continue for that young man.
It's a takeaway for this Carolina defense. Now Cam Newton lines up in this play. Joe Webb at quarterback. Newton up at the top, and Webb will just keep it. And that didn't work. File that play away in the back of the drawer, and then throw the drawer away. 2nd and 11.
Joe Webb knew that he was no longer needed on the field. He immediately trots to the sideline. He didn't even look.
All right. See you next week.
Cam says, hey, this position just ain't that easy.
2nd down and 11. Newton, no pressure. Ball is up after being batted into the air. Incomplete. 3rd and 11. Coming up, what's up, Aaron?
Joe, I was just, watching the Green Bay Packers here after Eddie Lacy fumbled that ball. No emotion on the sidelines. Before the game, players were telling us they were angry. They were going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Mike McCarthy said after the Denver loss, that was the biggest butt kicking he's received in a while. There has been nothing over here. Guys almost just looking like they're in absolute shock.
Well, it's a 13-point game here. 3rd down and 11. Newton fires behind Ted Ginn. Had him, missed him. 4th down.
Yeah, I think those are the throws where, Cam Newton was completing 55% of his passes, and these are the types of throws that you just have to be able to make, in this league. He's got a clean shot with a clean pocket, no pressure, and a wide open receiver on a slant route and just missed him.
Here comes a 43-yard drive by Gano. And no good. Yanked.
Wow. Gano, he's missed a couple extra points, and that's a big miss right there. And there's something that maybe can inject a little life into this Packers team. Maybe that's it, because to get that kind of field position and not give up any points is big.
Graham Gano missed 3 field goal attempts in 2013, 7 last year, and this is his 4th miss of 2015. He did hit in the overtime once to tie it, a 52-yarder to win it against Indianapolis on Monday night. But that is a big missed opportunity for Carolina after the Eddie Lacy fumble. Packers have it down 13 with the ball at their own 33.
Yeah, not surprised that James Starks is playing tailback on this possession.
319!
He gets it on a toss. Did a good job just to catch the toss, a loss of 1. Jared Allen was the first guy there. Picked up in a trade with the Chicago Bears after Carolina lost Charles Johnson, who's on IR, designated to return, out with a bad hamstring, hurt in week 3. Here's Starks again. Kuechly on the stop. A gain of 3, 3rd and long coming up for Green Bay.
Well, Luke Kuechly, I know Ron Rivera said he's got the best first step linebacker he's ever seen. You're going to see Lang trying to reach him. He just can't get there. That's a hard guy that can run from sideline to sideline and has the speed that he has. You don't make that block, he's going to make the tackle.
Packers on 3rd down have had 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 11. Now it's 3rd and 8.
Thrown it! Once again, 10.
Aaron Rodgers sacked. And it's the big man short in there on the stop for Carolina. K'Wan Short. You got no chance. Here's K'Wan Short. They just got Josh Seddon. I don't know what happened there. He doesn't secure the inside. He gets no help from the center, and K'Wan Short's hard enough to stop when you got a man blocking him, let alone when you turn him loose. And Aaron Rodgers with just no chance whatsoever. And we're at the 2-minute warning. Panthers about to get the ball right back. Quick 3 and out. Another frustrating day for number 12 in the Green Bay offense, down 13. You can get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. For Green Bay, their fans are tired of hearing people talk about it, but the Packers, that after 3 weeks, they were a 30-point-a-game team. Last year led the NFL at over 30 a game. The points aren't coming. Last 6 quarters, just 17. And a poor punt by Mastay. That by Mastay was a punt of just 26 yards. Kurt and Terry, what's coming up at halftime?
All right, we've got the best protected halftime show in history. Servicemen and women from the U.S. Army Reserve will join us with Veterans Day just a few days away. We've also got highlights from the early games, and you know it's always fun whenever Terry Steelers take on Howie's Raiders.
And for the first time in a long time, thanks to all of you, I feel completely safe. Thank you.
Back to you.
Guys, thanks. Well, it's been a first half pretty much dominated by Carolina. Here's Fozzie Whitaker. He picks up 9.5, depends on the spot, and they're going to give it to him. 10 yards for the first down. When you talk about the struggles offensively for the Packers, you know, not only are they not coming away with points, but in this game, Joe, they haven't even gotten first down, so they were not flipping field position. And Carolina, throughout this first half, has just had outstanding field position, of course, aided by the poor punt. Here's Whitaker again. Made the most of it, took it inside the 40. Plenty of time left, 3 timeouts remaining for Carolina after Whitaker got 3 at 2nd and 7. You talked about Cam Newton earlier, and he gets 3 calls from the sidelines, and they give him a few plays, and he comes up to the line and surveys the defense and then makes the motions and gets the team into the formations that work the plays that he calls. And he's gotten very comfortable, and when he started doing it, it coincides with when they went on this 11-game win streak. Here's one behind Cotchery and almost picked off. In good position was Demarius Randall, but couldn't get his eyes on it and haul it in. Well, that would have been nice. You get the ball back to your offense, maybe you're able to do something, but more importantly, you kill this Panthers attack. Demarius Randall, I think he's going to be a really good player in this league. He's got a lot of ability. He's already flashed and made a couple big plays already in his first year. But a guy that can really run, and you know they like him. He's been forced into the fire a little early. They're down at 7, blitz. Panthers pick it up. End zone, flag, touchdown Carolina, Corey Brown. It'll be interesting to see what the call is. They might have gotten Corey Brown, I'm not sure, but no, if the official says it's on Green Bay. I thought there might have been a push-off at the top of this route right there. I thought that was really, if anything, offensive pass interference. He leans in and makes contact on Dimitri Goodson, and Goodson's just trying to run up the field. They got Goodson on a hold. Penalty obviously declined, and it's another big pass play from Cam Newton. 39 yards for the touchdown. And Carolina has put up a big first half and lead by 20. 27 points put up by the Panthers, who have 285 yards of offense against this struggling Green Bay defense. Well, Cam Newton has had a big first half, and even with the blitz, nobody got close to Newton on that play.
Now you see they keep Greg Olsen, their tight end, in. They pick up the pressure and gives Cam Newton a clean pocket. He delivers a perfect throw. Corey Brown makes a nice catch. I'll go back. It looked to me, Joe, like Corey Brown's the one who initiated the contact. I don't think that should have been a penalty on the Packers, if anything, on the Panthers.
Cam Newton, 209 yards in this first half. 2 throwing touchdowns, 1 running touchdown. He's 8 out of 15, but the 8 completions have been big ones.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they've had 7 possessions here in this first half. They've scored on 5 of them, and it should have been 6 if it wasn't for the Gano missed field goal after getting great field position on the Eddie Lacy fumble. And Carolina defensively has stifled this offense just like Denver did a week ago. And then the defense for the Packers just unable to stop Cam Newton and this Carolina attack.
See what Aaron Rodgers can answer with. Down by 20. Pass is caught. Good start to the drive. Timeout. It's James Jones on the reception of 21 yards. 2 timeouts left for the Packers. Good throw. Quick setup and throw by Aaron Rodgers, and he delivered it right into the gut of James Jones, who had only 2 receiving yards at Denver last Sunday night.
They see the 14 dropbacks. He's been sacked twice, numerous hits and knockdowns, and that was the case last week. He was sacked 3 times in that game. He's been sacked a lot here in the last 3 to 4 games. He got hit a lot on Sunday night as well. This offensive line, I know Mike McCarthy talked about it. He said it's been the best performing unit of the team is the offensive line. But they haven't looked so good here this afternoon, protecting him nor giving running lanes to Jake Starks.
Pass is into the air and almost back into the arms of Randall Cobb. Coverage by Ben Wickery. And Cobb has been shut out in this first half.
Well, you look at what Aaron Rodgers is trying to fit a ball into. Ben Wickery is a young player, 2nd-year player, 5th-round pick from a year ago. He's really playing some good football for such a young guy. And he's matched up on Randall Cobb. There was nowhere to put that football.
2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Packers pick it up, and that was over the head of Adams and short of Richard Rodgers. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, we've talked a lot, Joe, about the lack of separation from the receiver standpoint, but Rodgers, he's missed some throws here as well. He missed Devontae Adams down the sideline that would have given him a 1st down on the previous possession, and that was another missed throw by him.
Ready, go! Ready, go!
Rodgers over the middle. He's got Cobb. And that's a big one. Spinning to the 41. Timeout taken Green Bay with 19 seconds left.
Randall Cobb, he's going to run the inside dig route, and a well-thrown ball, good route by him, and a much-needed conversion.
18-yarder for number 18, his first catch. And in case you're wondering, 19 seconds left. Mason Crosby's career long is 58 yards, which means taking it to the 40. He hit from 56 at Denver last week. So they're right in that range, but if you know Aaron, if you've ever met Aaron Rodgers, right now, field goal is not on his mind.
No, he wants to take a shot right now into the end zone, I guarantee you. But 3 points to end this half for an offense that has struggled as much as they have. That'd be huge.
Packers will get the ball to start the second half.
Ready, go! Hold on! Ready, go!
Davis. And timeout taken by Green Bay, their final one.
We've seen Thomas Davis now a couple of times. He just comes right inside the center guard gap. As offensive lineman, you're taught always to secure the inside gap and not give a rusher the shortest angle then to the quarterback. And a couple times in this game, we've seen Carolina be able to attack that area and get right on top of Aaron Rodgers.
So now something has to go to the sideline to stop the clock. No timeouts left for Green Bay. And we'll see how they play it here on 2nd down and 18. That was a big sack by Thomas Davis, his 3rd of the year.
Ready, go! I'm looking. Ready, go!
Rodgers to his right, throws across the field. The pass is caught, but that does it for the half. So they get the big completion, but it doesn't matter. And they come away at the end of the first half without even attempting the field goal. The 40-yarder to end the half to Davante Adams. Visa halftime coming up right now. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. That was today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. You look at these statistics as we begin the second half. Green Bay will start the second half with the football, and there are the numbers. Carolina having the fun here at home, trying to get to 8-0. As Gano kicks it away. Micah Hyde takes a knee, and we take it down to Aaron Andrews.
Just caught up with head coach Mike McCarthy, and I said, what was the first thing you even addressed your team with at halftime? And he said, well, the first thing we need to do is start running the ball. 41 yards isn't going to cut it. And then he said, the penalties have to stop. And then he added, in fact, all the mistakes need to stop. He said, every mistake we've made has led to big plays, like the protection. We made mistakes there. Aaron gets sacked 3 times. We've made mistakes on defense. They've led to Cam Newton making big plays. All in all, Packers need to clean it up, Joe.
Yeah, well, we saw a first half fumble from Eddie Lacy. We haven't seen him since. James Starks starts in the backfield with Rodgers.
Yeah, he had a 15-yard run there in that first half. Outside of that, it's been a struggle for him, too.
Ready, go!
Here's Rodgers, the tight end. Roman Harper eventually gets him out of bounds, and that's going to be 15 yards on the end of it as Harper threw Richard Rodgers down to the ground. This will be 21 yards of field position.
We'll take the yards any way you can get them, and just not a smart play right there. Even the late hit that came in just before he got out of bounds, that's something the league's cracking down on.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 41. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic. First down.
You know what was said by Ron Rivera in the locker room at the half. This is a Carolina team that blew a fourth quarter 17-point lead here at home on Monday night to Indianapolis. It took overtime to get the win. And I'm sure the word finish was thrown around by the Panthers before they came out as they lead here by 20. Low snap, Starks out of the backfield, cuts upfield after the catch, brought down by Kuechly, a gain of 5.
Well, we heard Aaron Andrews' report after talking to head coach Mike McCarthy, and you know, when you're playing on the road, it's hard to win anyway. When you're going up against a team that's undefeated and has as much momentum going as they do, you got to be perfect. The Packers have been anything but.
Here's Cobb, what a throw, what a catch! Cobb Cobb, touchdown! What a play and a good start to the second half for the Packers. 53 yards, and the Packers have life. Ben Wickery on the coverage, and Cobb went by him, but what a throw by Rodgers.
Well, it's a well-designed route because they go with the wheel route, which gives you a chance versus this man coverage. And Ben Wickery, as you said, he's in coverage against a dynamic receiver like Randall Cobb. Sell it to the flat. It gives you a chance to get a step up on the defender and a perfectly thrown ball. So they needed something to inject some life into this offense, and they get the big play and come away with a touchdown.
Cobb did not have a touchdown over the previous 4 games. That was big, and it's a 13-point game. With only a minute gone in the second half, Aaron Rodgers dropped it in perfectly and then celebrates the 53-yard touchdown. The majority of the racing teams call Charlotte home of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and that was a quick one, Troy. 1 minute off the clock, and the Packers back in it. Here is a touchback off the foot of Mason Crosby. Hey, will you draw this thing up?
I will. Yes, you run a slant on the outside here, and then you got Randall Cobb on the wheel route that I talked about. And what that does to Ben Wickery in coverage on Cobb, he's got to cover the flat, but once Cobb turns up, then it becomes a foot race, and Cobb wins that one, and you've got to have the perfect throw, and Aaron Rodgers delivers it. So they needed something really positive to happen to come out here and start this second half, and that's a great way to start it.
Season long by a mile for Randall Cobb. Newton keeps it, and nobody fooled. Burnett strung it out, and he had teammates with him. 2nd and 8 after a gain of 2. This is a Packers offense that came into this game with only 3 completions of 40 or more yards. That's what we expect. Big chunks through the air for Green Bay. They haven't had many. That was a big one. 53-yarder. 2nd and 8. Newton too high for Olsen. And he was bracketed. Goodson and Burnett in coverage. 3rd and 8.
Well, the Packers play that one very well, and we've seen in the first half Olsen get up the seam and be open for some of those throws, and they've got underneath coverage and then Morgan Burnett over the top, and they sniffed that one out.
Carolina 3 for 7 on 3rd down. Great protection until now, and Newton has to just throw it away. There was just nobody open downfield or that Cam Newton could find because he was well protected at the beginning.
They might have had a shot inside down the middle to Ted Ginn Jr. running through the middle of that defense. Morgan Burnett settled, and he gave him a shot. You see right there down the middle, but Cam's not able to find him, so defensively they force a 3 out. It's a good start for the Packers.
Northman to punt. Hyde gets hit immediately on the return by Teddy Williams. 43-yard punt, nothing on the return, except maybe a bruise. Packers get it right back. Down 13. Carolina Panthers here today are trying to answer that question. Yeah, well, who'd you beat? Won all 7 games this season, 11 straight during the regular season. Trying to beat the Packers here today.
Roger.
Rodgers has started to heat up. He finds a man along the sideline, Adams, and the pass is caught. Working on Charles Tillman, and the officials get together and say that's good for 21 yards.
And I think they're right, too. Aaron goes to the line immediately to get this ball snapped.
Here's a toss to Starks. He didn't want Ron Rivera to have any chance to throw that challenge flag on that completion to Devontae Adams, as we'll go back to the catch.
Well, he got real close, as you're going to see when he starts down the sideline. But he's able to, as the great late Hank Stram would say, matriculate the sideline for the catch.
2nd down and 6. Rodgers is sacked for the 4th time. This time it's Kurt Coleman. That's his first of the year.
Hard to tell if this is a breakdown by Aaron Rodgers or their left tackle, David Bakhtiari, because here comes Coleman off the edge.
Here's one of those free plays. Rodgers caught Carolina with too many men out there. Rodgers is sacked, but a flag is down as the Panthers could not substitute. Coney Ely back there to make the play. And let's look at the confusion defensively.
You see they're trying to substitute players, and they're also trying to get a timeout called over there on the sidelines.
Aaron Rodgers has become so good at this. We saw a lot of this early in the year. Here's a call.
Defense 12 men. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
It's a way to get some of those yards back after the sack by Coleman. And it makes it 3rd down and 8. He's just, sometimes it looks like Aaron Rodgers is playing at a different level than other quarterbacks. That's just a smart play.
Well, he's been doing it all season long. I think he does play at a different level. He certainly sees the field as well as any quarterback that I've watched. And I thought he really showed that last week. You go back and you look at the tape. When he says, hey, nobody was open, there was nobody open. I mean, he can get to the open guy, but he's good at doing that. Ron Rivera arguing that he was calling timeout, should have been granted it, but a nice job there by Aaron Rodgers to make this at least a little bit more manageable at 3rd and 9.
Bad snap. Pass is for Rodgers, incomplete. And Lindsley, the center, has not had a real good day snapping the ball in the shotgun. Kuechly is slow to get up. One of the best players in the league is on his knees at midfield. And now he takes his seat. It's 4th down for Green Bay as they check on Kuechly. They're looking at the right ankle of Luke Kuechly. As you'll see right in the middle of the picture, he rolls that right ankle on that 3rd down play. Now on 4th down, end over end punt by Maste. Ginn stays away. Checks up inside the 15. And we will welcome you inside our broadcast booth. Joe Buck along with Troy Aikman, and good start to the 2nd half for the Green Bay Packers. It looks like they're starting to get a little bit of traction here against Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they go down, they get the touchdown, they force a 3-and-out. Now they got to make another key defensive stop. You know, that's what it's going to come down to in the 2nd half to climb out of this hole. But a little different defense for Carolina without Luke Kuechly. They got A.J. Klein, who's gotten a lot of playing time, you know, this year because of injuries at the linebacker position, including the 3 games that Luke missed earlier. But this defense operates at a little different level when Kuechly's on the field.
Drive starts at the 14-yard line at Stewart. Clinton Dix was in on the stop along with Jake Ryan. And we'll keep an eye on that inside linebacker position. Nate Palmer has been under some heavy criticism for his play inside. Former outside linebacker in college, as was Jake Ryan, by the way. Trying to get a little bigger inside. 2nd and 4. Stewart right side. He's got a 1st down. Knocked down at the 30. Picks up 10.
Well, we've seen that run a few times now with Trey Turner, their right guard, number 70. He just comes out and leads the way. And, of course, you've got Greg Olsen who does an excellent job of blocking the point of attack. And if you're going to run the football effectively to the strong side, you've got to have somebody who can do that. And Greg Olsen does it superbly on that play.
Reset the play clock to 32 seconds. 32 on the play clock, please. Thank you.
See Morgan Burnett coming over to the sidelines, and interestingly enough, he and Cam Newton were teammates back when they were young, about 8 years old, on the same Pop Warner football team. So long history between those two guys. He said Cam Newton was head and shoulders above everybody else back then as well.
First down at Stewart. Fought for 2. You saw Morgan Burnett come to the sideline. This is only Morgan's 3rd game played. He's missed the other games with a calf injury. They hiked that leg up when they looked at him on the sideline, and they rewrapped his left ankle. 2nd and 8.
Encroachment. Defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's against Guyon.
Those are the types of penalties that just get you beat, Joe. We've seen a number of penalties already against the Packers, which have certainly impacted what's happened in this game. But you make a good stop there on 1st down, and you're looking at 2nd down and long, and then an encroachment penalty, and you allow the Carolina Panthers to get back ahead of the chains.
Nancy.
Second and 3. Newton outruns Perry. 1st down.
You heard Cam Newton at the line of scrimmage, and he's making the calls and very patient in how he's handling things. And talked about it a little bit earlier. His 5th year in this offensive system. Rob Chudzinski was his offensive coordinator his first 2 years. Mike Shula was on that staff. Ron Rivera wanted some continuity. He kept Mike Shula, named him the offensive coordinator, and Cam Newton is really flourishing with a great deal of confidence now in his 5th year.
Our scissors, 47.
Penalty flag flies. Newton lets it fly. He's got Olsen. Olsen spinning his way out of bounds inside the 40. They'll mark him at the 34. We'll check the flag. That one good for 24 to Olsen.
Well, he delivers an absolute strike to Greg Olsen. He placed it right where he had to.
Defense, number 56 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
He's got to navigate Clay Matthews here on the throw, and Greg Olsen's going to be running the dagger route through the middle, and he's got to throw it on his backside. And some people would look at that in real time and say, well, it wasn't a perfect throw. Olsen has to come back and make a play. But Cam Newton had to navigate Clay Matthews, and he does perfectly.
Now he finds the rookie Funchess. Fun, good for 5. 2nd and 5, and this is an important drive for Carolina after that quick strike at the start of the 2nd half by Green Bay. Carolina got it, went 3 and out, but now their 2nd possession, 2nd half, moving it down the field inside the 30 at the 29. Stewart, nowhere to go. Play is just blown up by Mike Daniels. A loss of 3.
We got Clay Matthews, who hits it on the outside, doesn't give him anywhere as far as trying to get on the edge. And then you've got Daniels, who gets the inside pressure also. And I like Mike Daniels, what I've seen of him. He gets pressure in the passing game. He's also good in generating some penetration in the run game. 3rd down and 8. They hand it off on 3rd and 8. And it's Stewart who's got a 1st down. I talked about Greg Olsen a little earlier. We know what he is as a receiver. The job he does right here in making the block and giving Stewart somewhere to go with the football. It's an excellent job. 3rd down and long, you hand the ball off and pick up a 1st down. It's not very good defense. Teams have the confidence on 3rd and 8 to hand it off. Here's Brown, who's got a touchdown in this game, good for a 1st down on this 11-yard completion from Newton. Well, he's got this group reeling. We knew defensively, as I said, that hey, this isn't the passing game that they've seen in San Diego or Denver. They came into this league 29th in passing yards. But Carolina, they've made big plays in the passing game. Pretty good job of running the ball overall. This Packers defense for the 3rd week in a row is reeling. Newton, look left, runs right. Out of bounds at the 6. Call it the 5.5. Forced out by Guyon, picks up 7. Dom Capers talks about scoring defense, meaning not allowing the opposition to score. Well, they come into this game top 10 in that category. Trying to hold Carolina out of the end zone here. 2nd and 3. Toss to Stewart. Good play. Hayward, and now he can't get up. Michael Orr was out there in front of the play, and Casey Hayward in on the stop. Packers are already without Sam Shields and Quentin Rollins, and now Casey Hayward gets hurt on the tackle. Boy, they are really thin, as you said, at that position, and to lose Hayward, then they're having to rely on some guys, maybe even a guy like Micah Hyde, to come out and start playing more of this game. Casey Hayward looks to be okay. Has to come out for a play. 3rd down and 2. Newton, end zone, incomplete for Cotchery. It's 4th down, and the field goal unit will come on for Carolina. Well, you can see that Cam Newton is really disappointed in himself here. You don't get many more opportunities than that right there to just pitch and catch. I'd sure like to have that one back. 2 out of 3 today is Gano, this one from 22. Basically like an old extra point. It's an important drive for Carolina. Started at their own 14 with 11:23 left on the clock. They lead by 16, under 5 to go, 3rd quarter. The lead is 16 for Carolina, 4:48. Now they are going to take Casey Hayward in, give him a look while Green Bay's about to get it back. Cam Newton, 249 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. 51 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, so a 300-yard day for Cam Newton, 3 touchdowns. His team up 16. The notorious Conor McGregor has taken over this season of The Ultimate Fighter. An Ultimate Fighter Eddie Lacy is, after being put on ice after that first half fumble. He's back out there. With the Packers down by 16. 4 carries, 3 yards for Lacy so far.
Pass is caught by Adams. Devontae picks up 8. The reason why we haven't seen Lacey up until now is because of this fumble forced by Charles Tillman. It did not lead to points, but it did lead Lacey to the bench. 2nd and 2.
Ready.
Not on the same page with Jones. 3rd and 2.
The whole passing game really has just been off. You know, even when there has been time for Aaron Rodgers, you just see some of these throws that you're not accustomed to seeing. And to go back to Eddie Lacy, it was obvious in talking to head coach Mike McCarthy yesterday that his patience was running pretty thin on the lack of production from Eddie Lacy. And he had said if he's not productive in this game, we're going to go with Starks and see what he could do. And then after the fumble, he was done. But they're about to take the game out of Lacy's hands anyway, or the running game, I should say, because of the score. Right now they're fighting the clock.
3rd down and 2. Rodgers. Pass is too high and picked off. Now they're saying incomplete. Kurt Coleman. That ball was not secured going to the ground, and Coleman now turns around and sees they're taking it away
It's an
from him.
incomplete pass ruling. 4th down, Green Bay.
And it's a good call.
That's a good call. It moves, even though it looked like maybe his left hand was under the ball. And boy, they had a golden opportunity. That was one that looked like it just simply got away from Aaron Rodgers. There was an intermediate receiver that clearly was over his head. And then the other receiver that was in the area, you know, didn't have a chance. So fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted. Not exactly sure what Rodgers was saying to the sidelines and what Mike McCarthy's reacting to.
It's the 5th 3 and out for Green Bay. Maste hits his best of the day. Back inside the 20. That's a 54-yard spiral, but a good return by Ginn. And they mark him out of bounds at the 29. And that's what he's complaining about. Adams was held. Officials missed it as Tillman got away with one. Well, Peanut Tillman, number 31, got away with a jersey grab. Aaron Rodgers saw it. Mike McCarthy saw it. The guys that wear black and white did not. So instead of a first down by penalty, the punt followed, and the Panthers have the ball up 16, starting at their own 29. Newton, deep throw, pass broken up. Dixon, the intended target, and Burnett, who's the leading tackler today for Green Bay, was back there defending.
Newton sees that Ed Dixon's got an opportunity one-on-one on Burnett and just takes a shot, seeing if maybe they can complete something down the field. As I said, you know, with the time, 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes, obviously left here in the 3rd quarter, that the Packers can't afford to give up points, but more importantly, they can't afford drives that eat up a lot of clock.
They're all coming. Matthews got there a little late, but a good play up front defensively. Stewart on the carry, and Clay Matthews almost tackled Cam Newton as he was handing it off.
Yeah, he hits it right in the middle. They don't pick him up, and it's a good thing they didn't have play action pass on, or he'd have been sacked. And sometimes when you bring the blitz like that, you open up a running lane, and if you can get past that initial wave, then you're off and running. But the Packers rally behind Matthews' pressure and make a big play. Got to make a stop here on 3rd and long.
Blitz again. Pass is incomplete, and now Ginn's looking for a flag and doesn't get it. 4th down.
Well, they had an opportunity. See Ted Ginn, he's got the skinny post and another clean pocket for Cam Newton, and just one that sails on him. So stops the clock with the incompletion, and now the Packers are going to get the ball with plenty of time.
Yeah, 3:03 left. That drive took 50 seconds. That was it. Jansen will snap it. Nordman to punt it. Bad one. Shank. But it takes a good Carolina bounce. They're going to mark it outside the 25 at the 28. Let's recap. Cam Newton over the top for his rushing touchdown of the day. 500 catch of the career of Greg Olsen, good for a touchdown. Long one to Corey Brown. Cam Newton has had better than a 300-yard day in total. Carolina's been all over Aaron Rodgers. They have 4 sacks. And the Packers, who trailed by 20 at the half, are down by 16 with a ball starting at their own 28. Kuechly back out there for Carolina. Rodgers is going to run, pick up as much as he can. And the coverage downfield has been really good for Carolina.
And they've been doing it in different ways. You know, sometimes we see them locked up in man coverage. That time they're in zone coverage. They've been very disciplined in how they're playing it when they do go to their zone. So in a lot of those looks, Aaron has had some time as he had on that last play, but just no windows for him to try to squeeze a ball into.
21.
Toss to Lacy. He's got the first down and more. And with that, we'll send it to Kurt Menefee with a game break.
A tie. The Packers atop the division, pending obviously the outcome of their game. Joe?
Kurt, thanks. First down, Green Bay. Rodgers down the sideline for Jones. Flag is thrown. Jones is missed. Devontae Adams hit the deck. That's where they threw the flag. And we will see who it's against. Steratore with a call.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 31, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's Tillman down here on Adams.
That was a good call. They'd still like to get that last one back on the third down. If they didn't call on Charles Tillman. About Charles Tillman a little earlier, of course, he had the forced fumble, the knockout that put Lacy over there on the bench, but he's been a nice veteran addition to this defense and has played well this season.
43rd career forced fumble for Tillman in that first half. Cobb starts in the backfield. Rodgers has to step through trouble. Just got it away, incomplete for Richard Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers was hit an instant after he let it go.
You see Richard Rodgers come off the line of scrimmage. He's got to run. You got to go. And you watch him, and I don't know if he's just indecisive, not sure exactly what he's being asked to do. He's a big guy, but that's a position that the Packers need somebody to emerge. They lost Andrew Quarles. He'll be back. He went on IR, designated to return. He's a guy who can stretch the defense. Just not had anybody outside of Randall Cobb, really, that can work the middle of the field. It'd be nice if Richard Rodgers would emerge for this offense.
And Rodgers, with the play clock at 1, has to use a timeout.
First choice timeout. Green Bay. 30-second timeout.
And with that, we will give you a look at next week. Fox NFL Sunday will give you the game matchups. The Lions and the Packers will be there at Lambeau. Cowboys and Buccaneers, as Dallas continues to count the days until Tony Romo comes back. Vikings and Raiders, a good game late. Saints and Redskins getting better and better with the way the Saints have picked it up. And now a 500 club. And that starts with Fox NFL Kickoff at 11 a.m. Eastern, followed by America's #1 pregame show, Fox NFL Sunday.
Tell you, Martha Ford there in Detroit, she's shaking things up.
Well, yeah.
Gone is the president. Well, it's interesting in the past, they've been so consistent in sticking with their people to be making moves mid-season. She's pretty much put everybody on notice.
The offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, was first to go. And Lawan, the president, Mayhew, the GM. Here's Starks out of the backfield. Well played. Roman Harper, the ageless safety. Bring up third down and long, a loss of 3 on that play.
Really hard to outflank this defense. They pursue awfully well. Roman Harper, he reads it out, makes a nice play.
Third down and 14.
Just another third and long for this Packers offense. That's pretty much all they have had throughout this game.
Penalty flag on the play. Pass is dropped by Rodgers. But a flag at the start of it.
Illegal formation. Offense number 75 is not on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. Fourth down.
It's been 2+ years now since Green Bay had Jermichael Finley at tight end. And that means it's been 2+ years since Green Bay has had a tight end have a 70-yard day for Aaron Rodgers. Richard Rodgers with a drop right there wouldn't have counted anyway with a penalty. But he's really made not much of an impact. They can't wait to get Corliss back. He's due back on a Thanksgiving game against Chicago. Mastay hits a knuckler. Takes a good bounce. Ginn with a dangerous grab. And he goes nowhere. Give you the undefeated team's strength of schedule. What's remaining in ascending order. Patriots have the easiest going forward. This is based on current records. Then Cincinnati. Denver will face 500 clubs the rest of the way. And then Carolina. The hardest of the schedules remaining for the undefeated teams. They are next at Tennessee.
Well, you look at this Carolina team, and there's obviously a lot of football left to be played after this game, so a lot of things can happen. But where we sit right now, you got 7-0 versus 6-1, and a win versus the Packers, I don't want to say assures them, but pretty much you got to feel pretty confident that if there's a playoff game between these two teams, that it's going to be played in Carolina.
Handoff to Stewart. And this is where Carolina can use that top-ranked run game and start to take time off the clock. A gain of 3 by Stewart. And the Panthers do not have to snap it again before the start of the fourth quarter. When they do, it'll be 2nd and 7. 16-point game, 30-14 at the end of 3. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages in a word from your local Fox station. Beginning of the fourth quarter, 2nd down and 7 for the team that leads by 16. Handoff to Stewart, met in the backfield and has to fight his way back near the line of scrimmage. Nick Perry made the stop. 3rd down coming up for Carolina, and Green Bay's defense needs to end this drive for Carolina right here.
Yeah, they knew there was a good likelihood they were going to get the running game there on 2nd down. Carolina wanted to try to take time off this clock, but now these 3rd downs, each and every one of them here on out, become big for the Green Bay Packers to get off the field.
Hold.
Newton up the middle and depends on the spot. And now Newton slow to get up. In fact, not getting up until now. And with that right foot, of the official coming in. This is right on the marker. Jake Ryan and Julius Peppers on the stop. But they may have gotten there a second too late.
It looks like they're going to pick it up. But you got Jake Ryan, who is in a great position. It just goes to show you that even with the right scheme by Dom Capers, you got a linebacker who's got his eyes on the quarterback there to make a play, and you're just not able to get Cam Newton to the ground before he picks up the first down. He was stopped well short if Jake Ryan's able to come up and make a play. But as I said earlier in this game, at 255, 260 pounds, he's as big as linebackers.
McCarthy's got the challenge flag in his hand, and he's going to challenge the spot. The question is, where's the ball when the knee comes down of Cam Newton? Probably worth the challenge. It's close. I mean, he got it literally by the very end of the football.
Green Bay is challenging the ruling on the field as it relates to a first down. Timeout.
They move it back at all, it would be fourth down. Is there indisputable evidence to change the call? We'll find out. It's been a long look under the hood. And obviously the question is, where's the ball when the left knee of Cam Newton hits the grass? You have to get, they had to get to the 31 for the first down. Maybe you split hairs and say he's a little bit short of the 31 when the knee hits down, but it has to be indisputable evidence to overturn the call. And we'll get it here in a moment from Gene Steratore. But if they move it back 2 inches, it's fourth down.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. When the runner's left knee hits the ground to put him down by contact, the football is at the 20-yard line, 3/4 yard. It will be 1/4 yard short of a first down. Fourth down, Carolina. Green Bay is not charged a timeout.
Well, now 3 out of 4 in the replay category is Mike McCarthy, and it obviously was worth the challenge as it brings up fourth down. Aaron Rodgers about to get it back.
Yeah, and you wonder just how much Mike McCarthy really thought that it was a poor spot. I mean, I didn't think they were going to overturn that, but as you said, certainly worth the challenge. But it worked out in their favor, and an excellent job then of forcing a punt. Riverboat Ron backed up here. No way he's going for it here on fourth down.
No, you have to take into consideration that only 14 minutes left in the game. It's a 16-point game, albeit a 2-score game, if you want to look at it that way. But you have to punt. Norman hits it. On the return, it's Hyde, and that's well covered downfield. And a good play is made by David Mayo. And here's the tackle. Hyde had a little room after Mayo, but number 55 didn't miss. It's a good play. You know, we came on the air talking about the bigger picture in the NFC. And right now when you have 7-0 taking on 6-1, this is a big one looking toward the end of the season for seeding in the playoff picture.
Yeah, I think for Green Bay, you know, they come into this game not even really given a lot of consideration as to what this may mean down the road. You know, they're just looking to get back on track offensively, whereas when we visited with Ron Rivera, he didn't talk to his team about it, but he said, hey, we're well aware of what's at stake and what this may potentially mean down the road come January.
Justin Perillo takes over at tight end as they run it with Starks. And needing quick strikes. Again, it's a 2-score game if you want, adding in 2-point conversions. A pickup here of just 2.
Well, it's the best field position, some of the best field position they've had all day, so at least they got the ball here almost at midfield and see if they can get something going.
Here's Starks left side. They run it twice here to start this drive. Out to the 46. Here's Kurt with a game break.
Joe, throw it in.
So So after the coaching change, a good response by the Titans. Good game there. Another shootout in New Orleans. 3rd down and 4 here. Rodgers has the ball knocked out. Looked like he may have gotten back on it. He did, but Coney Ely is the one who took it out of his hand, and it's a quick 3 and out as the offense still struggles for Green Bay.
Pressure right off the edge, and he's able to knock the ball loose. Looked like Corey Linsley, their center, he might have gotten away with a hold on Luke Kuechly, but man-to-man across the board, had a shot down the field too. Sean McDermott, he brings the pressure and trusts those corners to hold up, and they do.
Maste punts it with Ginn near the 15. To the near sideline and out of bounds. Ripkowski forced him out. 45-yard punt after the 5th sack of the game. For this Panthers defense, Carolina up 16. Cam Newton takes over at the 26. Ducks down, finds Ginn. Good throw, good catch. Ginn got the attention last week for dropping what could have been the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime. But talking to Ricky Prohl, he says Ted Ginn is running great routes, and he's really impressed these Panthers this year.
Well, he's getting his opportunity to play wide receiver, and I tell you, I'm liking this sidearm action that old Cam Newton's got going in the pocket. You know, he's completing 50% of his passes in this game, just 12 completions. He's averaging over 20 yards of completion, a lot of big plays down the field, and another one to Ted Ginn Jr.
Here's Stewart. Daniels can't bring him down. Nick Perry can after a gain of 4. Well, this defense the last 2 games, they've averaged allowing 524 yards per game and just about 25 points per game. And here they are down 30-14 and another big offensive day for a Green Bay opponent.
Well, Dom Capers, he'd like to see this defense get a takeaway right now. They haven't forced one all afternoon.
Still throwing it. Downfield, it's Olsen, and they're going to throw a flag on the rookie Randall. Never turned around.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. Spot foul, automatic. First down.
Just doesn't play it very well, Joe. He sits down. He's expecting Olsen to run a shallow route. He plants on his heels. Olsen runs right by him, and at that point, he was toast. I mean, it's either going to be a touchdown down the field. A ball was a little underthrown. He comes back, but he doesn't make a play on it, and that's some of the inconsistency that you're going to see from a young player.
34-yard penalty. On first down, Stewart. That's Demarius Randall, who was guilty of the pass interference, making the stop. Well, while Aaron Rodgers has been sacked 5 times, Cam Newton has not been sacked. Hit 3 times. He's dropped back 25 times. So he's been protected. Aaron Rodgers, for the 4th week in a row now, has not been.
Well, yeah, and you look at this possession. I mean, Mike Shula, offensive coordinator, he hasn't been afraid to throw it. You know, he's not playing conservative on this drive and just trying to run the ball and use the clock to his advantage. They've turned Cam Newton loose. I wouldn't be surprised with a quarterback draw here.
Under pressure pass is incomplete for Conchery.
3rd and 8. You know, they go to the empty set. You got no one to hand it off to, and we've seen that from Carolina in the past. I mean, they use Cam Newton, a lot of runners as we've seen around the league at the quarterback position, but a lot of designed runs for Cam Newton. And I asked him the other day, because you see so many times physical contact, if he likes it. He said, no, I don't like the contact, but I do like first downs. And if that's what's required, he'll do it. Of course, right now they're looking at 3rd and 8.
But they're also looking at a position where they're inside field goal range easily to make it a 3-score game. Newton slings it. Funchess touchdown. And the Panthers continue answering questions all afternoon.
As a quarterback, you see that the middle of the field opens, and you just hope your receiver can beat the defender to the spot and get inside. And Funchess, he does it. He gets inside. Not bad coverage by Randall, but strong hands by Devin Funchess, and they capped this drive with an exclamation mark.
It's been a 4-touchdown day for Newton. 1 on the ground, 3 through the air. And over 400 yards of offense for Carolina. And Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, just keeps pressing the gas pedal. An impressive day for Carolina here in Week 9 in an impressive season so far. The 37 points put up by Carolina ties their season high. October 4th at Tampa Bay, they put up 37, and this the most points allowed by the Packers this season. And there is some infighting going on the sideline for Green Bay. Here's Micah Hyde. Hyde crosses the 20, run down by Ben Jacobs. And here's what happened on the bench. Clinton Dix and B.J. Raji. Clinton Dix came over there and was talking to Julius Peppers, and B.J. Raji stood up and said, "Get back over there." And then the two started shoving each other. That's not a good scene on the bench for a team that is 6-1 coming in. That defense is struggling.
He's a little undersized to be talking whatever and saying whatever he said to Julius Peppers and B.J. Raji, I would guess. Here's Cobb, can't hang on. But let's talk about the protection. I mean, this is regarded as one of the better offensive lines in the NFL in front of Aaron Rodgers. They allowed only 6 sacks over the first 4 games. They came in having allowed 8 over the last 3. To St. Louis, San Diego, 3 by the Broncos, 5 today by Carolina, as Rodgers has been under siege all afternoon. Well, he was a week ago as well, and we know that, and certainly they let some people loose. There's been times when I thought Rodgers was going to take off and run, and he's tried to keep it together and hadn't worked.
Now his arm gets hit as he's going to throw it. It's Coney Ely, who just made a play last time Green Bay had it.
Well, Coney Ely is giving Balaga all he wants over there at the right tackle position. He comes in just like he did on the last series and just beats his man and comes around the corner and is able to get the throwing arm then of Aaron Rodgers. Last week, these 2 tackles had their hands full with DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, and they've all had their hands full here in this one.
There's Coney Ely, number 94, second-year pro out of Missouri. And a timeout taken. I think they want to make sure, Carolina sideline, that the arm was indeed going forward as that ball came out of the hand.
Carolina is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete forward pass. Timeout.
So a challenge for Ron Rivera, who is 2 for 5 in replay challenges this season. What do you think? 2 for 6? We'll get the call when we come back.
After review, the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is confirmed. Quarterback had possession as his arm started to move forward, therefore it's an incomplete pass. Carolina will be charged with its first timeout of the half.
Seems like that line moves weekend after weekend, and when you think you know what they're going to call on the field or in review, you just have to wait and find out. The call of incomplete pass is confirmed. We're talking to Mike Pereira during the break, talking about needing total control of the ball with the arm going forward. That's a tough sell. Either way, it's 3rd down and 10. Pass is caught by Adams for a 1st down. And the Panthers hurry up, but one of the Panthers, it looks like Josh Norman, as the Packers were running to the line, and it is Josh Norman, was hurt on that play. Looked like that right arm was extended. So they check on Norman. Their terrific corner. Take a break. In hockey, they would call it an upper body injury. It was something on Norman, not the legs. Looked like he landed on that right shoulder with his arm extended. Able to get up, get to the sideline. 1st down, Green Bay. Screen set up for Starks. Good blocking out front. Starks with a big one down to the 35. Brought down by Tillman with under 9 to go. A 30-yard catch and run.
Ready, go.
On 1st down, quick throw. Richard Rodgers inside the 30. Kuechly out there defending, good for 7.
You know, they brought in Teddy Williams for Josh Norman when he left the field. I thought maybe Aaron Rodgers would go after him instead. Without protection, they've gotten the ball out quick on the screen to Lacey, and then the quick pass on the last one. Now they've got Norman back in.
Starks, 1st down, gets a block, still rolling, touchdown. And Green Bay's not finished yet. 29 yards for James Starks, and Kuechly is down again.
Well, 2 big pass plays on the screen to Starks, and we'll see whether or not he was across the goal line. That one will be close as well. This time they come out to the right side to Starks. Been getting pressure on Rodgers. They run the screen successfully earlier. 2 plays earlier. They come back to Starks. Good job of running after the catch. We'll take a look at this and see if in fact he broke the plane.
It's a scoring play, so the automatic review. So they'll look at it, make sure, under 8 to go, and the offense stays out there. They're going to give a look at it under the hood now. So this is close enough for Steratore to come to the sideline and make sure that the ball crossed that plane of the goal line before the knee hit down.
I don't know that they're going to get a shot where they can definitively see whether or not he gets in. Right there. Looks to me like he made it, Joe, from what we can tell.
We know his pants didn't make it into the end zone, as he was dragged down from behind. I'm with you. It looked like, at least we haven't seen anything that would change the call on the field, but I'll say again, it's why Mike Pereira is the most underpaid man at Fox Sports. I don't know what he's pulling down, but we lean on him.
I think he's doing just fine.
Okay,
all right. You see those suits he's wearing?
Those are provided.
Are they?
Yeah.
How do we get those?
I don't.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Save that argument for another day. And Rodgers will stay out there
trying to make it a 15-point game. This is interesting that they're going for it here, Joe, as far as a 2-point conversion. You make it a 15-point game, yes, but if you miss it, it's a 3-possession game. Kick the extra point, you're down 16. You still got to convert to 2, but a little surprised by Mike McCarthy going for 2 here at this point in the game. Yeah, at some point you're going to have to get the 2-point conversions. But you're right. Rodgers spinning around. Throws, pass caught, flag is thrown. Adams on the conversion. We'll see what the call is. It's a hold against Carolina.
To the pass, holding. Defense number 41. Penalty is declined. Result of the PAT is successful.
So it's a 2-point conversion now. Green Bay 2 for 2 in that category. And as you were saying, last time the Panthers had it, Mike Shula, the offensive coordinators, still throwing the ball, still trying to get it into the end zone, which they did on the touchdown to Funchess, and they have to continue to press it here, up by 15. Yeah, and they'll continue to do that. The one drive, the one prior to their last touchdown drive, they did come out and run the ball. Packers forced a 3-and-out, just didn't have much success with it on the ground, and so they came out the last possession, they opened it up, they completed some passes, they marched right down the field and came away with the touchdown. So right now with still lots of time left in this game, expect Carolina to continue to play wide open. Starks with 2 big pass receptions. Got him down and then into the end zone, able to lunge for the touchdown, the 2-point conversion to Devontae Adams, and it's a 15-point game. Ted Ginn will be waiting deep. Everybody else is up in front of Ginn just to guard against what could be an onside kick attempt. But at this point, there's no real reason to even force that with just under 8 to go. Right now, Carolina, the way they're set up, they will give Crosby the touchback. He can knock it into the end zone. Ginn is up at the 18-yard line. This more preventative than expectant on the part of Carolina, I would imagine, just to make sure. Little pooch kick. And it skids. Good catch on the hop by Ginn. And he will crumble at the 20. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
Well, we saw earlier on Green Bay's sidelines, frustrations get the best of some guys on defense. B.J. Raji shoving, Clinton Dix. Well, guys, for most of that drive, Julius Peppers was over with the secondary, just giving it to Clinton Dix. Like I said, that entire drive, he was also talking a lot to Morgan Burnett. So Julius Pepper taking charge. B.J. Raji never went back up to Clinton Dix. We'll see how it all works out over here.
Clinton Dix on the field, Peppers on the sideline. Drive starts at the 20 for Carolina, up 15. Stewart hit in the backfield and good play up front. Eventually Jake Ryan cleans up, but the first guy that was there was B.J. Raji, who was fired up by his teammate, if by nobody else, and Nick Perry is slow to get off the field.
Yeah, B.J. Raji does an excellent job. Actually, LaTroy Guion, number 98, is the one who initially gets the pressure up the field, and then the Packers rally to that. But an excellent job of moving the pocket by LaTroy Guion, and Dom Capers has got to take some chances right now at this point in the game. You've got some young corners, some guys that are out of the game. You're relying on these younger players, and they're going to have to be able to hold up because Capers is not going to be able to provide much help
with the way this game is right now with just over 7 minutes to play.
So Guyon up front made the play. And with that loss of 8, 2nd and 18 under 7.5 to go. Carolina taking their time out of the huddle, up to the line. 11 seconds on the play clock. Newton, sideline, pass caught by Olsen. Goodson on the stop. They're going to mark him out at the 25. And out of bounds, stopping the clock for the moment at 6:59 to go. 3rd down coming up. A good route by Greg Olsen. He's able to get Goodson turned around, but he recovers and then is able to make the tackle as soon as Olsen is coming down with the football. But right now, 3rd and 5, and as I said, each one of these become really important for this Packers defense and preserving time on the clock and giving this offense an opportunity. See the yards piling up against this Green Bay defense. From San Diego to Denver, now here Carolina. Big 3rd down. Newton fires, pass broken up. And no flag is thrown. Funchess the intended target with Randall in coverage. It's 4th down. And we'll give it another look.
Yeah, we'll take a look. This is the one they scored the touchdown on earlier. Contact looked like Randall got a hold of the left arm well before the ball got there and contact was made. They get away with it. Stops the clock with the incompletion. So still lots of time left in this game for this Packers team.
It's a big stop on 3rd down. No call. Nortman hits it. And a fair catch. Called for by Hyde. If you love winning teams, check out the new comedies on Fox. Grandfathered with John Stamos and The Grinder with Rob Lowe. Fresh, fun, and bring big league laughs. It's all new Tuesday, right here on Fox. Well, there's not a Packer fan watching this game who has seen number 12 do his thing over the years, who doesn't think the Packers have a chance. Down 15, 2 timeouts on the scoreboard, and just under 6.5 to go.
Well, they had some success with the screen passes to James Starks. We'll see whether or not they continue with that or if that has any impact on this pass rush as Carolina front.
Kuechly back out there. Pass is behind Cobb. Rodgers had him throw a little behind him. 2nd down.
Boy, he had him all right. He got Cobb, who versus man coverage is open across the middle. If you're able to get that in his hands where he can catch it and run, he was going to get a lot of yardage out of that. Rodgers clearly upset with himself.
Does have a touchdown. At the 53-yarder. They made it 27-14. On 2nd down. Good coverage downfield. Rodgers over the middle, pass caught Cobb. And Aaron Rodgers moving around in the pocket, good for 20 to Cobb.
How about that catch by Randall Cobb? Not an easy play for him to make, and Rodgers keeps it alive. Excellent completion.
Flag is thrown, pass is incomplete. Sterator threw it. Rodgers was in the pocket. That ball ended up in a big void in the defense, but the flag was for something happening along the offensive and defensive line. At least the one thrown by Sterator, and we'll get the call from Gene.
There is no foul for intentional grounding as the quarterback was out of the pocket. There is, however, holding offense number 69. That 10-yard penalty is accepted. 1st down and 20.
That's Bakhtiari.
Hey, Joe, right now, Sean McDermott has really done an excellent job. As you take a look at the left tackle, Bakhtiari, Jared Allen working against him. That's where they got him for the hold. But Sean McDermott defensive coordinator for the Panthers, he's done an excellent job throughout this game of mixing things up. A lot of man coverage, and I think just when Aaron Rodgers thinks he knows what he's going to get in terms of man, he changes it up, and then they give a zone look. It's been keeping him off balance throughout this game.
Not so sure Rodgers was out of the pocket on that last play. But the hold, now a completion to Adams. Devontae Adams on 1st and 20. With 5.5 to go is good for 6. Ball at the 44-yard line. The Packers, who hurry it up as well as any offense in the NFL, have 2nd and 14. Pass is behind Cobb. And Aaron Rodgers ends up on his back. 3rd down.
Well, Bakhtiari, you try making a pass when you've got this right in your face. He gets driven right back into Aaron Rodgers. Mario Addison goes through Bakhtiari at left tackle. Gets right in his face.
Addison didn't play last week with a shoulder injury. In the game against Indianapolis, good pressure there. 3rd and 14. Just slinging it down the sideline, not close to Jones.
They weren't on the same page there. Rodgers thought that James Jones was going to continue up the field. He pulled up. Brings up 4th and long here.
And Rodgers forced for it. Yeah, forced to go for it here. 3 for 5 on 4th down this season.
They've been working inside to Randall Cobb, and they've also got Devontae Adams at the bottom.
Blitz. Rodgers spins out of it. Pass is caught for the 1st down by James Jones. What a play by Rodgers, and a great catch on the back end by Jones.
And who was in coverage? Josh Norman. As Rodgers stays alive, he's got to put it up high in order to give Jones a chance, and then it's a jump ball, and it goes through the hands there of Josh Norman, and what a catch by James Jones.
All Norman's got to do there is knock it down. Jones with a great catch. Now Starks down inside the 5, knocked down by Kuechly. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 3. And the Packers are very much alive now. That one good for 17. This defense that blew a 17-point lead last week against Indianapolis, huffing and puffing.
Oh, 6 feet, oh! 26.
Pass caught. Rodgers touchdown. The reason they had a chance, this play by Rodgers on 4th and 14.
Just an outstanding job by him of keeping the play alive and knowing he has to get it downfield with it being 4th and long, and just give your guy an opportunity to make a play, and James Jones does. Good coverage by Josh Norman just outside the reach of his hands. Then they finish it off with a touchdown to Rodgers.
Crosby knocks through the extra point. 37-29, an 8-point game in Carolina, 3:43 left. Aaron Rodgers, despite all the pressure, has had a 4-touchdown game. Number 4 was to Richard Rodgers. That's his 2nd of the afternoon, 4th of the year. And Rodgers gets up celebrating, knowing that the Packers are alive, down by 8 with over 3.5 to go and 2 timeouts. Well, now it comes down to this defense, and will they be able to make a stop to give their quarterback one more opportunity at this ball game? This time Crosby does drive it deep with Ginn up out of the back of the end zone and with 3:43 to go. Pressure is on Carolina's offense to do something with the football. Aerial coverage provided by Nationwide. With all the celebrating going on, at least with the Panther fans so far in this game. Little anxiety now with the offense and Cam Newton back onto the field, up by 8. Well, we'll see what Mike Shula decides to do, if he's going to open it up and risk stopping the clock with incompletions, or if he's going to play it a little closer to the vest. Well, they got to get some first downs, no doubt. From the 20, going to try and start with a throw. Pass is caught. Was he inbounds? Interception by Demarius Randall. A bobble along the sideline, but he secured it before going out as he stepped in front of Ted Ginn. An outside breaking route, you have to lay it out on the boundary. It's thrown behind, and Randall's in a spot. Now, does he get in? It looks to me, Joe, well, the ball's still moving at that point. It's a turnover, so they'll look at it. The call is interception. And the question will be, when did he gain complete possession? Yeah, that's going to be close. Looks like just about the time he's starting to gain possession. Ginn wisely goes after the ball.
The previous play is under review.
It looks to me like that's going to be ruled an incompletion. Just as he starts to gain it, the ball then gets knocked loose again, and he's not able to get that left foot down. And right there, even a little bobble at the end. I was going to disagree with you, but that little move at the end with the ball coming out, and Mike Pereira is with us back in Los Angeles. Good work by Ginn to slap at the football. What'd you see from back in LA, Mike?
I think the slap of the football comes with the timing of the second foot hitting the ground, and the ball came loose actually just when the second foot hit the ground there. So to me, he had not completed the process of the catch. Now, to me, then that second foot here coming down on the line, certainly a really good chance of making this incomplete. It's very tight, but again, watch. Here's the completion right there when the second foot hit the ground. But the hand looks like the left hand stays on the ball. Again, it's so close, guys. Yeah. To me, with that left hand on the ball, boy, I'll tell you.
Hey, the more you look at it,
right hand stays on the ball.
Yeah, the more you look at it, it's this little extra piece right here at the end where Randall's still really trying to get total possession of the ball that I think might ultimately cost him the interception. But I know where you're going, Mike, which is the call on the field is interception. Is there enough there to overturn it? I mean, that's always the coin flip as we go through these games every weekend. And did he secure the football perhaps before the ball got knocked by Ted Ginn? I mean, it looks like maybe they may rule that he had possession. It was bang, bang, but may have had possession prior to Ginn actually hitting the football.
Yeah, a lot of things to discuss here from the whole thing now. Had he had the ball long enough to become a runner? And then did he maintain that control? And again, you always got to think of what was ruled on the field, which was interception.
Here it is again. Great play by Ginn. The ball's moving. The left foot hits out, and they are really giving this a long look under the hood. Carolina led this game with just under 8 minutes left by 23 points, 37-14. Now it's an 8-point game, and we'll get the call from Gene Steratore.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is an interception. First down, Green Bay.
So they stay with a call on the field. The ball moving, the interception stands, and a big play by Randall, who was guilty of a pass interference earlier in the second half.
Well, the young corner's growing up. We saw a couple weeks ago he makes a big-time play against San Diego, which secures that win over the Chargers, and now makes a big interception that gives life to this Packers team with an opportunity to try to tie this score up.
Second interception for the rookie Demarius Randall, first-round pick out of Arizona State. That possession lasted 5 seconds for Carolina. Starting at the 22, and it's against Carolina.
Neutral zone infraction defense. Number 69 was in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty, still first out.
Got Jared Allen with the neutral zone infraction. You know that Rodgers would have liked to have had that ball snapped and then take a shot into the end zone. He's so good at it. But they get Jared Allen with the hard count.
So first down and 5. Here's Starks, nothing there. Davis was in there for Carolina, along with Allen. No gain. Under 3.5 to go. Time not a factor at all right now. Green Bay, they've converted 1 2-point conversion already in this game. They need a touchdown and one more. Second and 5. Low snap again. Incomplete for Starks. Third down and 5.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, we have shown throughout this game how much pressure he has been under, and he's been on the ground just about every time he's dropped back to throw the football. This time, yeah, Starks was in the area. He just unloaded it wisely, knowing he had nothing.
Been sacked 5 times. Play clock at 2. Timeout, Green Bay. We'll give you a recap. And what's coming your way is anybody's guess. It was all Carolina early. In fact, it's been all Carolina even late. Here's Funchess. A forced fumble by Ely. Some infighting on the bench by the Green Bay defense. The huge play on 4th and 14 that led to this, to Richard Rodgers. And with the extra point tacked on, this has become an 8-point game. And then Demarius Randall, able to secure the catch before he stepped out of bounds on the interception. After an early penalty against this defense for Carolina, now it's 3rd down and 5. Rodgers, Adams knocked away. In the hands of Adams, and he could not haul it in, and Tillman was there defending for Carolina, and he knocked it out.
Pretty tight window there for Rodgers to try to fit that one in. He gets it on Adams, but just as it gets there, Charles Tillman makes a heck of a play on the ball. And now 4th down again. Rodgers, pass is caught. 1st down, Randall Cobb. Big catch on 4th and 5, good for 8. Sean McDermott dials up the blitz on 4th down. James Starks makes an unbelievable block that buys Rodgers some time. Big time conversion. 1st and goal. Incomplete for Cobb. Let's go back to that 4th down. You're going to see Starks come up and pick this blitz up. Thomas Davis, we've seen a number of times in this game him get a free look. This time he picked up one-on-one. Rodgers sticks it on him. That's big time. Good throw by Rodgers. Strong catch by Cobb. Now 2nd down and goal. Is incomplete. Cobb the target. Harper in coverage, no flag. Tell you, this Carolina Panthers defense and secondary, nothing comes easy against these guys. Every ball is challenged. And now you're talking at this point of the field, the 9-yard line. There's just not a lot of room to try to create yourself some windows to fit the ball in. Anything that happens here is going to be contested. Just got it away. Rodgers thinking about it. Won't get there. It's 4th and goal. Roman Harper made the stop. And another 4th down. And it will happen at the 2-minute warning. That's where we are. This has turned into some game. Rodgers and the Packers have not quit. 4th down and goal when we come back. 2 minutes left in Charlotte. The Green Bay Packers have converted 1 4th down on this drive. 2 4th downs if you go back to their last possession. A 4th and 14, a 36-yarder to James Jones. 4th and 5, a 9-yarder to Randall Cobb. And now it's 4th and goal. Well, Tom Clements has had a lot of time to think about this play and what they're going to do. Sometimes in this situation you move the pocket, but if you do, you're cut the field in half. Been under a lot of pressure. See if they're able to block him up, give him some time to get somebody open. 2 minutes left. Timeout, Carolina.
First choice timeout, Carolina.
Little different look there by Green Bay. Bring Randall Cobb inside. Ron Rivera doesn't like the look. He ran out there on the field. You see Cobb's right here. You got Richard Rodgers back there as well as James Starks. 2 receivers, 1 to each side. Ron Rivera wanted some time to break this down and called a timeout. It's Aaron Rodgers doing the talking in that little meeting. As the reigning NFL MVP will go back to the huddle and try and figure out what to call on 4th and goal. Same look.
motion. Rodgers in trouble. Throws, picked off. Intercepted by Davis. Panthers take over.
Joe, they go Randall Cobb in motion. They run a natural pick. It frees him up to the flat for the touchdown. But Brian Bulaga, the right tackle, gets pressure right back into Aaron Rodgers' face. Mario Addison, and it gets Rodgers off of the throw. Randall Cobb is in the flat. As you're going to see here, they run the natural pick. Right there, bang, and there's nobody out there in the flat. But because of Mario Addison getting the pressure back in Rodgers' face, he can't see it. And that's the ball game. Only one timeout left for Green Bay. Carolina will run it here with Stewart. Timeout taken. A minute 47 remaining. Green Bay can get the ball back. One first down, it's over. And I don't know how, if you're Green Bay, you come out of this game feeling. I mean, maybe there's your answer. Throwing that Surface tablet is Aaron Rodgers. The play was there. Yeah, really well designed. Designed it beautifully, and you could have called them for a pick. No flag. So the play would have stood, but pressure just right back into Rodgers' face. He couldn't really see what happened out there and tried getting off of it, and then it was too late. For Aaron Rodgers, sacked 5 times, a 4-touchdown game, but that interception, if the Green Bay Packers get it back, they will have no timeouts remaining as Tolbert carries it. Needing to get down the field into the end zone for the touchdown, then tack on the 2-point conversion, as it will be 3rd down, and Rodgers just hanging his head over on the sideline. And when they look at that play and how it unfolded, what they called, they'll be sick that the pressure forced Aaron Rodgers into a position where he couldn't find Randall Cobb. Yeah, if you know right away that they're in man and the guy was picked, and then you are able to lay it, but I can just tell you that you've got big bodies in your face, and Brian Bulaga at 6'5", and he's being pushed back, and you can't always see what's out in front. That's what got him off the throw. Timeout taken by Carolina.
Final charge timeout, Carolina. A 30-second timeout.
So basically, with one more play, it'll be a run from Carolina. The game clock will wind down, and you're looking at under 20 seconds when Green Bay gets it back. There's the pressure, and there's Aaron Rodgers, who I'm sure saw on that picture how open, wide open Randall Cobb was.
Well, you go into a game and you have some plays that when you get into these types of situations, what can you go to? And Tom Clements and Mike McCarthy, they anticipated man coverage in that situation. They got exactly what they wanted. And Aaron Rodgers, you saw his reaction once he saw for himself what he had.
See how the protection has been breaking down as the weeks have gone on. 3 last week at the hands of the Broncos, 5 today. Daniels, the first to get there. Stewart buys a little room, but nobody can stop the clock now. Play clock at 34. So we will have a punt. And if you're Carolina, play it straight. Obviously, the safety is always in play if you wanted to go that direction. Eight-point game. Nortman will just play it straight. Punt it. What a beauty. High back inside the 30. Penalty flag on the play as Hyde is tripped down short of the 45 by Kirk Coleman. Only 6 seconds left. The Green Bay Packers.
Illegal block in the back. Return team number 36. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10, Green Bay.
You get Ladarius Gunter right here for the block into the back of Colin Jones. Green Bay, barring the incredible, will lose their 2nd straight. They'll go to 6-2. Minnesota just won in overtime at home over St. Louis. They're 6-2. And these two clubs, Minnesota and Green Bay, will meet in 2 weeks. Home game for the Vikings. Getting interesting in the NFC North.
Ready, go! Ready, go!
The laterals begin. Starks caught it. Adams throws it. They have yet to really go forward yet, and that's it. Carolina wins it by 8, 37-29. And the Panthers continue their streak. 12 straight victories in regular season games. And they're 8-0 to start 2015. Definitely a statement game for the Panthers here at home. And the home underdog Carolina Panthers win it by 8 over the visiting Green Bay Packers. We'll take a break. And they'll pick it up in LA on the other side. Carolina by 8.